as Aston Villa manager Unai Emery would say, good evening. And today we are at Vicarage Road for the midweek fixture of match week 21. Well, technically match week 20. It carries on after the game against Coventry on Saturday. It's Watford taking on Reading. And on this Tuesday night, the Hornets are looking to bounce back from a disappointing defeat against the Sky Blues, with the only goal coming from Victor Gyökeres on 50 minutes. And it was a disappointing one. The performance was really poor, and although we did create chance after chance, and that Hungbo chance that just went wide after a small deflection, and a couple of opportunities like that Sema free kick in the first half palmed away by Wilson, it was just not our day, and the performance had to be much better than that. So hopefully Pedro will be better tonight, hopefully Watford will be better tonight, and hopefully we can end this pre-World Cup stage of the season with a home victory under the lights against a Reading side who, to be fair to them, are in good form. Currently, though, a bit lower than us in the table, sat in about 11th, 12th. I think we're just outside the playoff places in 7th right now, with Luton hot on our heels and a few clubs just ahead of us. So it's very, very tight up there. Every point counts, and our home form has been fairly consistent. We've only dropped points against a few teams this season at home, the likes of Queen's Park Rangers, obviously that really disappointing game against Coventry, but also, earlier on in the season, we did draw against Sunderland. So we have scored in all, I think, but one of our home games. So that's a pretty good record, and I'm hoping that we can carry that on tonight. We just didn't look like scoring that often against Coventry, but in the game against Cardiff and the game against Luton, we certainly looked threatening on the break. It's just we've got to utilise the pace of Ismail Assar to the best potential. A few suspensions as well. So Sierralta's suspended tonight, as is Hassan Kamara. Chowdhury did pick up a yellow card, of course, in the game against Coventry, but we keep picking up yellow cards. It's no surprise. So yeah, Sierralta is suspended. So we need to find someone to slot in there, whether that's Craig Cathcart, although he is an injury doubt, whether that's Christian Cabaselli. I think Courtney Hawes is still out and injured, unfortunately. He was so good when he came in. And also we've got Hassan Kamara suspended. So that's a bit of an issue because we haven't got a lot of depth at the fullback position. So obviously at right back, you would imagine it's Dan Gosling again, if not Mario Gaspar. But at left back, there are very few options. So we'll probably play James Morris, the youngster, or we could move Sema to left back and then play a different formation where we kind of, instead of having Sema on that right-hand side with Sarr on the left, we could just deploy Sema on the left and have like Bayo and Davis and all that kind of in the attack. So there are a few options, but let's see what Bilic goes with tonight. I just think I want to see a reaction from the lads tonight. Saturday was a really disappointing damp squib, and I expected a lot more. I think the players should expect a lot more. But the main thing is, the last 3 games, 40 shots, and just 9 of them on target. Only 2 shots on target against Coventry, and that was really poor because the away team had just as many shots but more on target. We've got to be more accurate with our shooting and ultimately test the goalkeeper more, because even that chance for Sarr, he's done it before where he's missed a sitter. I remember there was that home game against Leeds last season. But if you're going to be that close to goal, even if you don't score, at least get it on target, at least test the goalie. So I'd imagine Daniel Batman is in goal tonight. He had a tricky game against Coventry, I thought. But the main thing is, I think we need to see Pedro better tonight. He's got to be really chomping at the bit to improve his performance, because he was really poor against Coventry. And hopefully he can dictate that midfield, or that just kind of holding role at the number 10. But let's see what happens. Asprilla was decent enough when he came on. Wonder if he'll get a start tonight. But Reading are a very interesting opposition. Paul Ince, interesting. He's not done too well, but he's a decent enough manager. He's got his son Tom Ince, who is their Reading's top scorer, joint with Lucas João, who's going to be a big threat, the big number 9 striker for them. So it's a battle of the Joaos on Tuesday night. And they've also got Jeff Hendrick, who they signed recently, as well as, of course, Shane Long, the former Stoke man. So quite a few threats, quite a few old faces. But we will see who comes out on top between the Hornets and the Royals. Come on, you Horns! I'm going 1-0 Watford. I always do, it seems, in these vlogs, but I'm going for it again. And I think the only goal, Ismail Assar, of course, on 73 minutes. Let's do this!
In goal, it's number 1, Daniel Blackburn.
Hey!
4, Hamza Chowdhury.
Hey!
5, and captain William Trustakov.
Hey!
7, Keenan Davis.
Hey!
10, João Pedro.
Hey!
12, Ken Sema.
Hey!
16, Dan Gosling.
Hey!
18, Yasser Spria.
Hey!
23, Ismail Assar.
Hey!
27, Christian Cavaselli.
Hey!
And 39, Edo Kayambe.
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, before kick-off tonight, we ask everyone here to join us as we honour those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service of their country at this, our nearest home match day to Remembrance Sunday. Once the referee's whistle has sounded, Slaven Bilic and Paul Ince will both lay a commemorative wreath at pitchside before bugler William Vandy from Croxley Green plays the last post. So please stand, if you are able, and join us in silence at the sound of the referee's whistle. Thank you.
What was I saying on Saturday about the weren't sways, just empty seats?
Yeah.
Not quite. It's a bit, isn't it? There, a bit empty, isn't it? Tonight? Oh well.
Watford FC. The team for me. Come on, straight in Watford. Let's do this.
12 yards. penalty. That's 6. That's got to be on the penalty spot. I'd say further back. The penalty spot where two boxes goes 4 is 6. 8. Oh yeah, 6.
Is it going to be Ismaila or Ken? King Ken. Go on. Let's have a little bit of a knuckleball, please.
Keep it down. Not that far down.
Okay, we'll get you off set piece duty, Ken.
Oh, man! Get in! Get in there! It's a penalty! Come on! A clear pen. Absolutely blatant. I mean, we should have scored with a chance, but we'll take the penalty. The question is, who takes it? It's got to be João. Sar's penalties are always awful, so give it to João, please. Penalties are quite good for JP. JP10, he knows what to do. João Pedro! Oh! Always believe in your soul. You got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in João Pedro. Oh! Pedro, mate, you can score this. We all believe in you.
Just hit the thing. Bloody hit it.
Yeah! Get in there! Come on! Let's go! Great penalty! Oh! 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 Watford! Oh! Watford! Get in! Great penalty! Great to get the first goal. Go on! He was making a run. Go on, Davis. You've got to speed it up, man. Got to be more quick tempoed.
Careful.
Go on, Cabba. Come on, Cabba. Well done. Oh, nice. It's a shame that no one was there. Oi! Go on. Release it, release it. Come on, Watford. Get a bit more control in this game. No, that's not what I was wanting. Come on, Watford. Let's just tidy this up a bit.
So guess what? You had a shot, didn't you? Shot.
Come on. Referee! Hallelujah. Come on, Watford. Let's just tidy this up a bit.
João Pedro, oh, always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in João Pedro, oh. Hello, and today we're doing a match reaction for the result of Watford 2, Reading 0. Just as we did in the 2020-21 season, the Hornets beat the Royals by 2-0. And just as Ismaila Sarr did in that game, it's a brace. This time, though, for João Pedro, who took the winning penalty in the first half at least, and then scored the second in the second half. And good result. Not the performance that we would have loved, but I tell you what, there was a bit of character in there. There was a bit of a reaction from Saturday's disappointment against Coventry. I mean, we begin, of course, with the remembrance service. We will remember them. The last post, very, very poignant and well delivered. And then the game kicks off, and ultimately a very slow start, but Watford start to get into the game, start to create some chances, and Reading don't pose a lot of threat. And then a foul in the box. Looks like Watford are about to score, but instead the referee points to the spot, and up steps JP10, who has taken quite a few penalties in his time, and I had confidence in him. The whole stadium had confidence in him, shouting, "We believe in you," and he did the business. He showed what he's got, and great penalty. You know, just sat the keeper down and put it the right way into the back of the net. And, you know, to get a goal that early, the first 20 minutes of the game, I think just calms the nerves and just lets the players express themselves a little more. Ultimately, though, it wasn't easy going that first half. You know, at times, Reading having a bit of the ball, you know, looking not a massive threat, but just kind of Watford defending a bit nervously, and it just felt like something was brewing. Second half comes around, and really Watford making it hard for themselves defensively, and there was just not really clear-cut chances for Reading. Batman had very little to do over the course of the night, but just Watford's kind of playing into Reading hands sometimes. Watford creating a few chances as well. Ultimately looking a bit better towards the end of that second half, and finally, deservedly killing off the game with a second. And it's that man again, João Pedro. Some good work down the right-hand side from Ismaila Sarr, clipping in across. The goalkeeper, the substitute goalkeeper, who of course had to come on for their main choice, who got injured after saving a good shot from Davis that was saved from close range. He came on, the substitute goalkeeper, and he made a bit of a mess of the cross in. But Pedro took his time, arrowed up that wand of a right foot and smashed it, just kind of drilled it low, kept his eye on the ball and kept it down. And it's a great finish. Watford's second of the game, kills it off very, very nicely. And look, it wasn't a superb performance from the Hornets, but rough around the edges, a bit of passion, that's all we can ask for. So, job done. Up to 5th. Very, very nice to see Luton lose 2-0 as well tonight. So, yeah, can't really complain about that. The only thing I will say is we just need to do things more simply. And what I mean by that is don't overcomplicate the shooting and the creating of chances. Do not think you can score the perfect goal every single time. Just have a shot, shoot on sight, because honestly, there were a few times today where we get the ball into a dangerous area and then we take the extra touch and then we lose it. And it's just wasted opportunity after opportunity of having that opportunity to shoot. So Ismaila Sarr today, a bit frustrating. Again, a couple of times got the ball and just didn't go for it. You know, you back him with the ability and skill and, you know, quality he's got, and he's going to be our only player at the World Cup in Qatar by this end of November. But if he does well, let's hope that gives confidence for him to score more goals, because he is our top scorer alongside João Pedro now. But ultimately, it is frustrating sometimes when these players who've got the ability in their locker don't back themselves to shoot and have to take that extra touch. Talking through the team performances then, match ratings. What would I give Daniel Bachmann out of a 10? To be honest, a 6. But that's not the fact he played poorly. It's just he genuinely did not have a lot to do today. Had quite an easy game. Generally, his kicking was okay. The thing I do not like is when he's not taking those long goal kicks and just hoofing it up. Just, why are you playing it around the back? Why are you leading us into a bit of trouble and putting pressure on our defence? It's just not worth the risk. But I cannot complain from Backman today. He had a solid game. Left back. So today we saw Ken Sema slot in at left back with Hassan Kamara out with suspension because he picked up too many yellow cards. So yeah, look, I think Sema, obviously it's not his natural position, but I think he did an okay job there. He's still so much better as a left winger. He offers us a lot. He's got a lot of assists this season, and he's great at just driving down the byline. Obviously didn't get too many chances of doing that today. There was a couple. I remember there was one in the first half where he just kind of got to the byline, but then it was blocked. So there's the effort there from Sema. It's just not always the quality, but certainly he's good at that at championship level. But in terms of that left back spot, I think he did okay. It wasn't a disaster. Centre backs pairing. I mean, obviously Cathcart wasn't able to start, so we see Kabasele come in, and you know they're decent enough for the championship, Kabasele and Troost-Ekong, but they are defenders that could have a mistake in them, and you just wonder when that misplaced pass is going to happen. But to be fair to him, I thought Troost-Ekong was decent today. Just a lot of headers won, physicality shown. Kabasele, on the other hand, yeah, he was okay, but just it's a lot of nerves when he's on the ball and he's got a mistake in him. But, you know, he did his job today. We can't complain too much. And a clean sheet is something we've not been getting a lot recently, so it's a valuable thing. And then at right back, obviously, we once again saw Dan Gosling slot in there. He did all right. He did what was expected of him, and then Mario Gaspar came on towards the end. Midfield, I thought Kayembe today was okay. You know, obviously, they're both, him and Chowdhury, very similar in their position and their role, but they do their job. I thought Chowdhury today was quite good in terms of he gets stuck in, and that's what we love to see. He's that terrier kind of player, like, you know, your Will Hughes of the past. So he does help us get really, you know, into the challenges, and he actually did push forward a bit today, Chowdhury, which was good to see him actually driving with the ball and carrying it forward in the absence of Imran Louza, who we know is so good at, you know, crossing, you know, and doing those diagonal cross balls. And then, of course, we have our attack. Asprilla, I mean, I thought we had a tricky game, didn't really get into it, and therefore was booked for a bit of a silly challenge and was hooked off for a substitution. So, yeah, not one of Asprilla's best, but he's got a lot of time to learn. He's still very young, but definitely a lot of potential. And then, obviously, we saw Sarr on the left-hand side. Look, he's doing his best. He's got the movement, he's got the ability, but sometimes it's just not. He's not being utilised in the perfect positions. But at least he gave it a go today. And then we also saw Pedro with a fantastic performance. It's got to be said, really, really strong. I mean, it's a great penalty, and then the second one, it's a great finish. So good to see him back in form after a really poor game against Coventry. And then Davis, he works so hard. He works his socks off. Didn't quite work for him today, unfortunately. Got hassled a lot by the defenders, but yeah, you know, tried to hold up the ball and did what he could. So look, at the end of the day, Reading were really poor today. I think we would have been disappointed to have not claimed maximum points, but we still had to get the job done. We still had to take our chances, and we still had to, you know, defensively keep strong towards the end there, because we didn't really have the save to make, but there were times where Watford defensively looked a little bit shaky. That's understandable with, you know, our track record recently. So yeah, Reading were poor, but we will take those, absolutely, and move on to Bristol City on Saturday. Last game before the World Cup. Let's see if we can make it 2 wins on the trot. If not, hey-ho, it's Nigel Pearson. We have not too fond memories of him, unfortunately, with that horror Premier League season, but he did kind of cause a mini survival charge at the start of the year. So let's see if we can get them at Ashton Gate. But I've been Roberto the Hornet. Thanks you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Man of the match is only one man, JP10.